everybody, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
We love to explore some pretty interesting stuff here.
Yeah, we do.
And today we're tackling something that I think a lot of people are really curious about, but also might be a little skeptical of.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is manifestation.
It gets a bad rap sometimes, right?
Yeah, it definitely can get, a little out there, a little woo-woo.
Woo-woo, for sure.
But what if I told you that there's actually a lot of real science
There is.
and practical stuff that you can use, even if you're the biggest skeptic in the world?
I think that's what's really fascinating about this deep dive is that you can come at this from a purely scientific perspective.
Totally.
And still find value in the core ideas of manifestation.
Okay, so let's get right to it then. What is the deal with manifestation? And how can we actually use it to get what we want in life?
I think the simplest way to put it is that manifestation is the process of turning your thoughts into reality.
Okay, but that sounds really
It sounds simple.
simple, right? Like I'm thinking about $1 million.
Yeah, right.
Poof, it should appear.
It's not quite that simple.
Right.
It's more about aligning your energy, beliefs, and actions with what you want to bring into your life.
Okay, so it's not just sitting on the couch picturing piles of money.
No, not quite.
Okay.
One of the sources we looked at uses this great analogy of the mind being like a garden.
Okay, I like that.
Your thoughts are like the seeds you plant.
Okay.
Your actions are the care you give them.
Okay.
And the results you see in your life are the harvest.
So if I'm planting seeds of like doubt and negativity,
Right.
I'm not going to get those beautiful flowers or delicious fruits.
Exactly.
Oh.
You've got to consciously cultivate the thoughts that will grow into the reality you desire.
I'm with you, but I have to admit, even though I like that analogy, thoughts are things, it still sounds a little vague to me.
Sure.
That's where the science comes in, right?
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is that the law of attraction, which is a fundamental principle in manifestation, actually has roots in neuroscience.
Wait, so there's actual science
There is.
behind this attracts concept?
Yeah.
Really?
It makes sense when you think about it. When you focus on positive outcomes, your brain releases dopamine,
Okay.
which makes you feel good and motivates you to take action towards those outcomes.
So you're literally wiring your brain
They're wiring it for success.
for success by focusing on the positive.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just magical thinking. It's actually about how our brains are working.
It's about brain chemistry.
But is there any specific part of the brain that plays a role in this?
There is. One of the sources goes into detail about the reticular activating system, or the RAS.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It acts like a filter in your brain, picking up on information that aligns with your goals.
Oh. Okay, so if I'm constantly thinking about starting my own business, my RAS is going to start noticing things like potential collaborators,
Yeah.
business opportunities, even casual conversations that could be relevant.
Precisely. It's like your brain has a radar for opportunities related to what you're focusing on.
That's wild.
Isn't it cool?
So even on a neurological level, we're kind of primed for this.
We are.
Okay, I'm buying it.
Good.
But what about the practical steps?
Yeah.
How do we actually do this effectively?
Well, one of the sources breaks it down into 5 key steps.
5.
The first, and perhaps the most crucial, is clarity.
Okay, so instead of just wishing for more money, I need to be specific about what that looks like.
Exactly. You need to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Instead of more money, you might say, I want to earn $10,000 a month doing work I'm passionate about.
The more specific, the better.
The more specific, the better your brain can focus its energy.
Okay, clarity makes total sense. What's the next step?
The next step is visualization. And this isn't just daydreaming. It's about engaging all of your senses to create a vivid mental image of your desired outcome as if it's already happened.
So if I'm trying to manifest a new apartment, I should imagine myself walking through it, feeling the sunlight through the windows.
Yes.
Even smelling the fresh paint or whatever.
Exactly. The more real you can make it feel, the more you program your subconscious to believe it's possible.
So it's about making your brain think that it's already happened.
It is. And that, in turn, motivates you to take action towards making it a reality.
Okay, so we're talking about a really powerful mind-body connection here.
Absolutely.
What's the third step in this process?
The third step is all about aligning your beliefs with your desires.
This is where things can get tricky.
This is where it gets a little tricky.
Because if you don't believe you can achieve something,
Right.
then you're not going
You're going to subconsciously sabotage yourself.
So how do we deal with those limiting beliefs that I think everybody has?
We all have those voices of doubt creeping in. But the good news is there are practical techniques for shifting those negative beliefs. Things like affirmations,
Oh,
journaling, and surrounding yourself with supportive people can make a huge difference.
so you're saying that like simply repeating positive statements,
Yes.
writing down our goals, and being around positive people can actually rewire our brains for success.
It's about creating an environment that supports your desired outcomes, both internally and externally.
Okay, so we've covered clarity, visualization, aligning our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fourth step in this manifestation journey?
This one is crucial inspired action. Manifestation isn't about passively waiting for things to happen. It's about taking action that feels aligned with your goals.
So it's not about like frantically running around trying to force things,
No.
but it's about being open to opportunities
Yes.
and taking steps that feel guided or...
You nailed it.
Okay.
It's about listening to your intuition, noticing those synchronicities, and trusting that the universe is conspiring to help you.
Okay, I like that. But how do we know we're on the right track?
Right.
What if we start doubting ourselves or second-guessing?
That's where the fifth and final step comes in gratitude. Cultivating gratitude for what you already have is incredibly powerful.
So even while I'm working towards my goals,
Mm-hmm.
I should appreciate the good things that are already in my life.
Exactly. It's like sending a signal to the universe that says, hey, I appreciate this. Send me more.
Okay.
Gratitude opens us up to receive more abundance.
I love that. Okay, so the 5 steps are clarity, visualization, belief, alignment, inspired action, and gratitude.
You got it.
Seems pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there's some common mistakes
Oh, of course.
people make along the way.
Absolutely.
What's the biggest one you've come across in your research?
The biggest one, impatience. People often think of manifestation as a magic wand, but it's a process that takes time and consistent effort.
So it's not like snapping our fingers and expecting our dream life to appear overnight.
Definitely not. It's like planting a garden. It takes time for the seeds to sprout, grow, and bear fruit.
Patience is key.
Mm.
Are there any other common pitfalls we should watch out for?
Another common one is focusing on lack. If you're constantly dwelling on what you don't have, you're actually reinforcing that lack and attracting more of it into your life.
So obsessing over that empty bank account isn't going to help me manifest more abundance.
It's like focusing on the weeds in your garden instead of the flowers.
Okay.
You need to shift your attention to the abundance that already exists in your life and the possibilities that lie ahead.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking I'm broke, maybe I should focus on I'm open to receiving financial abundance.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance.
This is all so fascinating. But you know what really helps me? I think it helps a lot of people, is like hearing real-life examples
Oh, for sure.
of this stuff.
Hmm.
Did you come across any stories about people successfully using these principles?
I did. One source tells the story of a woman who used these steps to manifest her dream job.
Okay.
She was feeling stuck in a dead-end career, but she started visualizing herself in a new role, writing down her ideal job description, and taking small steps towards her goal each day.
So she was putting those 5 steps into action.
She was.
Did it work?
It did. Within a few months, she landed her dream job, and it wasn't even something she had initially considered.
That's incredible.
It is.
It sounds like she was just open to possibilities, and then the universe kind of delivered in a way she hadn't expected.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of manifestation. It's not always about getting exactly what we think we want, but rather being open to something even better.
This is all so inspiring. I'm already feeling like I have a better understanding of how manifestation works,
Yeah.
and more importantly, how I can start using it in my own life.
Yeah. That's the goal.
You know what? You've inspired me to try something. I'm going to pick one goal and start applying those 5 steps right now.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you be willing to give it a shot alongside me?
I am absolutely in. Let's do this.
Okay, we'll share our experiences in the next part of this deep dive.
Yeah.
In the meantime, think about one goal you want to focus on and get ready to manifest.
Get ready.
See you next time.
Bye. Welcome back to our deep dive on manifestation.
So we've covered like the basics, the science behind it, the 5 steps.
Mm.
But you know, as I've been thinking about this more,
Yeah.
I'm realizing there's this whole other layer to this,
Right.
our subconscious mind.
Oh, yeah. The subconscious plays a huge role in all of this.
It does. It's like that saying, we are what we repeatedly do.
Exactly. Our subconscious is like this giant storehouse of all our beliefs and habits and automatic responses.
Right.
And if those beliefs are negative or limiting,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be tough to manifest what we truly desire.
It's like trying to bake a cake
Okay.
with like spoiled ingredients.
I like that.
You might follow the recipe perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
but the result isn't going to be what you hoped for.
That's a great analogy. And that's where those techniques we talked about earlier, affirmations, visualizations, surrounding yourself with positive influences, they become so powerful. They help us reprogram our subconscious mind.
So instead of replaying those old tapes of like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do that, we can start replacing them with affirmations like, I am capable.
Yes.
And worthy, or I am attracting success into my life.
Precisely. And the more we repeat these affirmations, the more our subconscious starts to accept them as truth.
It's like creating new neural pathways in our brains.
It is.
Paving the way for our desires to manifest.
Yes.
But let's be real. You can't just say an affirmation once and expect your whole life to change, right?
Not quite.
Yeah.
You're right. Consistency is key when it comes to reprogramming the subconscious. It's like training a muscle.
Right.
The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes.
So even if we don't feel like it some days, we should stick with those practices, the visualizations, the affirmations, the gratitude.
Yes.
Because over time, they really can shift our subconscious programming.
Absolutely. And when our subconscious is aligned with our conscious goals,
Yeah.
it's like the universe can finally step in and start orchestrating all those synchronicities and opportunities that bring our desires into reality.
It's like we're finally getting out of our own way and allowing the universe to work its magic.
I love that. It's about letting go of the struggle and surrendering to the flow of life.
Okay, but this whole subconscious thing makes me wonder about something.
Okay.
What if I'm trying to manifest a new job, but deep down I'm afraid of failure?
Right.
Is that going to sabotage my efforts?
That's a great question and a very common scenario. Remember the RAS we talked about?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to pick up on those fears too.
Oh.
If you're constantly worrying about failing, your RAS will actually start filtering for information that confirms those fears, making it more likely that you'll miss opportunities or even self-sabotage.
So even if I'm saying all the right affirmations, doing all the visualizations, if I have this underlying fear of failure, it's still going to hold me back.
It can. It's like having one foot on the gas and the other on the brake.
Okay.
You're sending mixed signals to the universe.
Okay, so how do we deal with those deep-seated fears that we might not even be fully aware of?
There are a few powerful techniques. One is to bring those fears to the surface and challenge them. Ask yourself, is this fear really true? What evidence do I have to support it?
Right.
Often when we examine our fears closely, we realize they're based on past experiences or limiting beliefs that no longer serve us.
So it's about becoming aware of those fears, questioning them, and choosing to believe in a different outcome.
Exactly. You can also use visualization to reframe those fears.
Okay.
Instead of imagining failure,
Yeah.
visualize yourself succeeding.
Okay.
What would it feel like to ace that job interview, land that promotion, achieve whatever goal you're aiming for?
Right.
Engage all of your senses, see it, hear it, feel it, and let that positive image replace the fear.
I love that. It's like we're rewriting the script in our mind.
Precisely. And the more we practice this, the more those new empowering beliefs start to take hold in our subconscious.
Okay, so we've got to be mindful of those hidden fears and actively work to reprogram them. But is there anything else we should be aware of in terms of our subconscious programming?
One thing that's often overlooked is the energy we're putting out into the world.
Yep.
Our thoughts, emotions, and actions all have a vibrational frequency.
So if I'm walking around feeling stressed and negative, that's not exactly going to attract positive outcomes?
You got it. It's like trying to attract butterflies with vinegar.
Okay.
You need to create a sweet, inviting energy that resonates with the things you want to attract.
So taking care of our mental and emotional well-being is just as important as the affirmations and visualizations.
Absolutely. If you're feeling burnt out or stressed or resentful, it's going to be much harder to manifest your desires.
It's like trying to run a marathon with a sprained ankle.
Exactly. So self-care, stress management, and cultivating positive emotions are all essential parts of the manifestation process.
They are. And that doesn't mean we have to be happy and positive all the time.
Right.
We're human. We have ups and downs.
Of course.
But it's about being mindful of like the dominant energy we're projecting.
It's like being the DJ of our own emotional radio station.
I like that.
We get to choose what music we play.
And when we do find ourselves playing those negative tracks, we can consciously choose to switch to something more uplifting.
Absolutely.
So if I'm feeling anxious about a job interview, instead of letting those worries spiral out of control, I can choose to focus on my skills, my preparation, my confidence.
Exactly. You're taking back control of your emotional state and shifting your energy towards something more positive.
This is all making so much sense.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how manifestation is really about aligning our inner world with our outer desires.
That's the heart of it. It's about becoming a vibrational match for what we want to attract into our lives.
And it's empowering to know that we have more control over that process than we might think.
We do. We have the power to choose our thoughts, manage our emotions, and take inspired action.
Right?
And when we do that, we create a powerful force for manifestation.
This has been so insightful. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious to hear about your experience with the manifestation challenge we started.
You mean picking one goal and applying the 5 steps?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How's it going for you? Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of manifestation today.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We've gone from the basic definition to the science behind it to those 5 steps and even the subconscious mind.
It's a lot to take in, but I feel like it's also really exciting to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, though, I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the challenge we set for ourselves and our listeners. Picking one goal and applying those 5 steps.
Right. I've been working on manifesting more creativity in my work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've been visualizing myself, coming up with new ideas, feeling that sense of inspiration and flow, taking time each day to journal and brainstorm. And honestly, I'm already noticing a difference.
That's amazing. I love that you're already seeing results.
Right.
What about you? What goal did you choose and how's it going?
Well, I've been wanting to create a more peaceful and relaxing atmosphere in my home. So I've been visualizing my space, feeling calm and inviting. I've been decluttering and organizing and incorporating elements that bring me joy, like plants and soft lighting and calming scents.
That sounds lovely. And you're already taking action, like decluttering and adding those elements. It's funny how these principles can apply to really any area of life.
That's so true. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about manifestation is that it's only for, material things or grand achievements.
Right.
But it's really about aligning your energy with any experience that you desire, whether it's inner peace, a stronger relationship, or a more fulfilling career.
You're right. And speaking of misconceptions, I think it's important to address some of the common ones that might be holding people back. Like the idea that manifestation is about sitting back and waiting for things to magically appear.
Oh, yeah. I'll just visualize $1 million and it will fall from the sky myth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as we discussed, it's not about being passive. It's about taking inspired action, being open to opportunities, and making choices that align with your goals.
It's a co-creation with the universe.
Right.
Not a cosmic vending machine.
I think another misconception is that manifestation is about, controlling other people.
Right.
Or forcing outcomes.
That's a dangerous one. We can only control our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Trying to manipulate others or force things to happen goes against the very essence of manifestation.
Yeah.
Which is about working with the flow of life.
It's about creating an environment where our desires can flourish, but ultimately surrendering to the timing and the way things unfold.
Trusting the process is key. And that brings us to another important point, the role of intuition.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about taking any action. It's about listening to those inner nudges and following the path that feels aligned.
That makes sense. Sometimes the universe guides us in ways we couldn't have predicted. So being open to those unexpected opportunities is essential.
It's like following a breadcrumb trail. We might not know where it's leading, but if we trust each step, we'll eventually reach our destination.
This has been such an insightful exploration of manifestation. I'm walking away with a renewed sense of empowerment and possibility.
Me too. And I hope our listeners feel the same. Remember, you have the power to shape your reality. It starts with your thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
So if there's one thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive, what would it be?
I would say be mindful of the energy you're putting out into the world. Pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your actions. Are they aligned with what you want to attract?
That's such a powerful reminder because whether we realize it or not, we are constantly manifesting.
We are.
Either consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
So let's choose to manifest consciously with intention and purpose.
Absolutely. And let's trust that the universe is conspiring to help us achieve our dreams.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into manifestation. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to start creating the life you truly desire.
It's been a pleasure exploring this fascinating topic with you.
Until next time, keep those intentions clear, those actions inspired, and those hearts full of gratitude. Happy manifesting.